glad that people can join. If you saw my first live stream, this is something new that we're doing. The first one was more of a pilot. I'm going to say now, as we get started, if there are topics that you would like me to cover in a future live stream, please let me know in the chat. And as mentioned, I might not be able to respond to the chat because the way my setup is here, I might not see everything. So it's 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Welcome. Good afternoon, good evening also, and good morning, wherever you're visiting and viewing this from. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to share today's live stream on taking action on your data. As you guys might have seen, if you follow me within LinkedIn, that's my major platform that I post a lot of Qlik content on. I've been working a lot with our products, Qlik Cloud Analytics and Qlik Automate, for example. There's other parts of our stack that I am going to be presenting on as I prepare, but this is one that's near and dear to my heart. I love integrating Qlik Automate with Qlik Cloud Analytics because I really do see the business value in how you can take immediate insights and turn them into outcomes as they happen. So I'm going to share my screen. The video, I think, will cover the right-hand portion of the screen. I'm going to stop that share of the video so we can get a full screen, and then we can come back for Q&A. I like to only keep these to about 15 minutes. They are, I call them just, quick tips and tricks, nuances, let you see what the Qlik product is about if you're new, or learn something that maybe you haven't thought about using in the past. Okay, so we're going to get started. Let me see how this is going to work with the share, because I am going to share. I'm going to move this part of the live stream out of here, and I'm going to put this part in here, and I'm going to share my screen. Let's see how this works. Okay. That's that. And then I'm usually on the bottom hand, but now I got to just see how to stop the webcam. And forgive me for this. I didn't do that last time, and I might have covered up some of the presentation. So there should be a webcam button around here somewhere. If not, I'll make sure not to try to present anything that's on the right-hand side. I'm looking for this webcam button, and I can't see it. There's a microphone button and a stop sharing button, but it does not look like I can stop the webcam. So if that's the case, let me see here. Webcam. Yep. All right. Well, I'll just make sure and be conscious of anything that's in the bottom right. Okay. So let me put this into a quick presentation. I'm not going to really, put this directly into presentation mode. We're just going to just talk about a couple of quick things about taking action on your data, automating your business with Qlik Automate. And I have a slide prepared here that just talks about the 4 different action types when it comes to Qlik Automate. Things you can just keep in mind about utilizing this part of the product with Qlik Cloud Analytics, okay? And this is part of the Qlik Cloud stack. This is not available in Qlik Client Managed, okay? So just to be aware of that. So before I demonstrate a few examples, I want to cover the 4 key action types. So each action type turns insights into outcomes in a different way. It can start with alerting and informing, where automations are instantly notifying you and the teams through a chat or through an email the moment a KPI shifts or a threshold is breached, ensuring everyone stays aligned and aware. And that's an example I'm going to show you today, utilizing like Teams or Slack or email, Outlook, etc. And then the next one is compelling action, where insights drive engagement by automatically creating tasks or tickets or incidents in your business systems. So the accountability is actually built into that workflow, so no insight goes unanswered. Then there is take action. Now, I call this taking action, quote unquote, on your data, because there's different ways of taking action, right? So this one's specific to like take action. And this is where Qlik is automating the connection from the analytics directly to operations and performing updates like changing an order status. You might see that today if we have some time within HubSpot or Salesforce, for example. Modifying data, posting comments across integrated platforms, basically closing the loop between discovery and execution. And then finally, there's autonomous action and automatic updates. No user interaction is required. And this is the highest level and works and runs the entirety of the, using logic. You can, because of our platform being so vast, like we can incorporate, for example, Qlik Predict, formerly known as Qlik AutoML. And a prediction can actually kick it off something completely autonomous that you have running in the background from an experiment, let's say, and detect issues and make adjustments in real time before humans even need to intervene. Okay, so together, these 4 action types are empowering you to transform analytics from passive observation to active decision making. And you're turning every insight into an action and every action into an outcome. Okay, so that's the crux of working with Automate and then also combining it with the power of Qlik Cloud Analytics. So I'm going to go through a completed example of that. And of course, again, those who know me, I always have my ducks in a row, right? I have my stuff together, live examples running on the platform, and everything ran perfectly before I presented. So we're going to take an example and from the position of like a fulfillment manager. Okay. And this is from a retail or an e-commerce example. We have a bunch of sales that are coming in. There are products that need to be built as the order comes in. We have a lead time of from 6 to 8 weeks. When we start to approach 30 days, we want to, make the fulfillment manager aware that their orders have not been built yet. Now, obviously, this could be tied to other things. This is a sample example, like why isn't it built yet? Well, maybe logistics problems, maybe supply chain problems, et cetera. But regardless, that's neither here or there. We have data in front of us in this form of this dashboard. And let me also make sure it's sharing and all that. So the problem is when you have 3 monitors up. Yeah, okay, you're good. All right. So we have orders that are coming in immediately, whatever role you're in. I'm the fulfillment manager. Maybe I need to communicate directly with the engineers or the people responsible for building these products. And I take this from, the standpoint, I love video games, right? So I've created this enterprise of building products for retro video game systems and put it all in this data. The data comes in from the e-commerce platform. So this is my demo. And I love this demo. And I constantly am building on top of this with all the great capabilities that Qlik has to offer. So here we have a table. We have some notifications. And keep in mind what I'm about to show you is different than Qlik reporting. It's different than setting up alerts. It's different than setting up subscriptions, right? These are all great capabilities that are built inherently within the platform. But I'm using this for a particular custom built scenario where we need to inform our engineers immediately of insights that we discover, right? So we see we have some orders here, right? We have an order from Jonathan, an order for Chris, an order from Dan. So working with Qlik's associative analytics engine technology too, as I make selections, all of our KPIs update, etc. So now I'm looking at the orders that Jonathan placed an order. He's got 4 items in here. They're approaching 36 days. We also see Chris has an order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number of different items here as well. So selecting those orders, I want to now inform, right? I want to alert. Now, granted, yes, could have I right-clicked and said alerts, create a new alert, and when an order reaches a threshold, it sends me a notification? Yeah, it sends me a notification, but I need to send somebody else a notification immediately. And this is an on-demand example. So I'm going to click Send Build Report. Okay, now I'm using an extension created by Riley McDonald. This does not have to be used with an extension. The extension is available in the GitHub repository. I like this extension because it allows me to add more form and interactive capability, but this could also be done with standard input boxes and variables as well. And I'll have another stream. This is actually all built out for you, so you can do this on your own. I have a page with all this. So just allow me to, go through this example first. So this form is actually going to now kick off an automation for me. But before I do that, I want to select the engineer. There's a node in here. I'm just going to update it with the word hey, so you can see it's real time. And I'm also going to say, dude, you need to build these now. Okay. And that's just an example of a quick line that I'm going to insert into the report. So then I click send message. What's going to happen, and you can see me turning over, I'm going to put my teams in view. And in a few moments, what's happening under the covers, it's passing the variables, it's grabbing the data from that straight table, and it's passing the selected items over to a automation. And then that automation is going to basically kick off. It's actually using report services to generate a report under the covers and create a PDF document. It's writing that, and there it is, just popped up. There are 2 orders that are at risk of cancellation due to the excessive lead time. And click here for the build report. Okay, it's actually writing that report to a temporary link, because we have that capability in Dropbox, and storing that report there for this user. I click that report, and there it is. You can see, dude, you need to get to these orders now, and there are all the items. And this is an example of just a build report. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to creating pixel perfect type reports, but this is enough to, convey the possibility, the art of the possible, and how taking action on this is now totally connected the engineer at that time, made him accountable. It said, look, we just sent you that report, for example. You see that report and you got notified and you're made aware of this. And now they can begin, closing the loop on this, the process. Maybe a conversation happens back saying, well, these, particular products can't be built because we're low on, LEDs or whatever it is. But regardless, we just, conveyed action immediately and had have communication between 2 parties directly from that insight that I discovered. Okay, so that's an example. I'm going to show you that automation. So this is the example of the automation. Now, if you're not familiar with Qlik Automate, it's a no-code approach to working with back office systems and processes. There's so many things you can do with Automate. It would take me, I don't know, a lifetime to go through everything that you could do. And again, you're limited to your imagination at this point. I will state what I'm showing you is from an analytics perspective, but this can also be from a platform operations perspective. And I have things on that we can share where you can run automations that are triggered from webhooks when a user is created in Qlik Cloud, and then, sets up a space and sets up automated permissions for them too. And I have a section on that later just to show you that it's possible. But keep in mind, you're not just limited to alert and notifications and updating databases. You can work completely with the Qlik Cloud services operations. For those of you who are familiar with APIs, an API, application program interface, that you would normally code to, all of those APIs, or most of them, have been exposed as process blocks within Qlik Automate. And then you just basically put in your key value pairs of, the payload, they call it, of the values coming in and what's coming out, and you string them together. It really isn't difficult when you start using this. Obviously, there's a little bit of, education that needs to go behind this, but you can turn out a lot quicker the capabilities that you need, and you're reducing error, you're reducing a lot of manual involvement. Like, for example, what would I normally do in an older time? I'd take a screenshot of this, paste it in an email, send it to the engineer, hope he gets it, etc. Right? I've just eliminated all of that error or reduction, increased the amount of action that is taken on this simply by clicking a button. Okay. Now that's from an internal perspective. Let's take this from a external perspective, a customer perspective. Right? I'm worried that Chris is going to cancel his order. Why? Because it's past that 30-day period, and I want to be proactive, mitigate the risk of this customer canceling by letting them know we're here for you, right? You have a customer places an order and there's no communication. Customer's like, what's going on? I want to cancel this order. Well, I'm going to send Chris a message now. Okay. And again, just to show you this is real, I'm just going to say, hey, in here. So this is now trapped or captured his order number 2786. Thank you for your patience as we process your orders. It's dynamically grabbing the time period. We see that your order has been open for 30 days or 4 weeks. We're still below the 8-week threshold. We anticipate your order shipping. We're just opening lines of communication immediately as we find it. So this is just sending a message. I'm going to click send, and I'm going to go over to my mail. Now keep in mind of the products, right? And the number of items that Chris purchased. In a few moments in my email inbox, obviously this is hard coded to a sample email, but that would be using the email of that customer at that point in time when that message was sent. So there we go. Michael Tarallo, update on order 2786. Hello, Chris. This is in regards to your current order. Thank you for your patience as we process. Your order is now in fabrication, blah, blah, blah. And look at this, a nice table of all the items he ordered. Okay, this is all from Qlik. One product, one platform, one stack, creating different use cases on the fly that you could use in an organization. Now, I have a background in e-commerce and retail. You know, everybody sells on eBay. You know, everybody has a little creative things that they do. So this is information that I know is important, let's say, to a customer, right? They want to be well informed about their order. They want to know that it's in progress. They want to know if there's a problem, that they could speak with somebody immediately, et cetera. So you're taking action on your findings. So that is an example, two examples built into Qlik Cloud. So now it's 11:15. I would normally stop the stream here, right? My goal is to inspire you, right? My goal is to delight you, show you what is possible with Qlik. What I'm going to do right now is I have one more quick example I do want to show you, and that's from and this is not as beautiful as the other app, in my opinion. I have a support page here that I built, and this is just showing me, let's say, certain orders, right? This is fictitious, right? We have an order here. We select the order. We could see that the stage is new, priority high, module is not correct. So I'm just going to say we're now waiting on the contact, change the priority to low, and this is a new comment. And I click update. Okay. What I did is I created I don't know if you guys heard that. That was Slack. Okay. And when I entered that information, ticket ID, priority low, stage 2, this is a new comment, problem, customer ordered wrong joystick module. I just integrated with Slack, and I also integrated with HubSpot. Okay, and if we go to HubSpot, it's nothing to do with Qlik. This is a CRM or a ticket management platform, customer management platform. You can see that the priority is now low. This is a new comment. Module is not the correct platform. So I did a little bit of a write back scenario, directly updating HubSpot with the new information. I had I did this quickly. I didn't have time to beautify it, etc. But that's another capability that can be done. There again, there is so much more that you can do. Let me just show you a couple of the flows before we end the stream, and if there are any questions, I'll ask. And then show you where you can learn more about this. So this is the send build report, right? My start block is triggered. I have inputs. I'm deleting any temporary files on Dropbox just to give me a clean slate. I'm updating a variable, and now I'm using report generation, right? You'll see we have what's called Qlik reporting. So we create the report, we add a sheet to the report, we add a selection to the report. Now I have a little technique here that I worked with a few people in my organization, Dan Pilla, Emil. These are great people that work in our organization that also work Qlik Automate. So a little technique here that actually loops through the selections to provide me something a little bit dynamic. Generate report, write the report, send the message through Teams. That's pretty much the send build report automation. And this is the customer in progress email, triggered, inputs. I sleep for a few seconds, apply bookmark, get straight table data, some variables. And I actually have this in part 4. I'm actually manually formatting the rows of data into an HTML table that can fit into the format of the email. And I actually cover this step-by-step in part 4 of the video. And this is the simply HubSpot one. Start, inputs, update ticket, send message to Slack. Okay. So this is pretty much the HubSpot one. So I'm getting some questions in here. So I do have a full, if you guys have access to the Qlik community, I'm going to paste this into the chat. And this is going to cover you with part 1 and part 4. Part 4 is the full tutorial. I have the resources here, which are the app and the actual work automation workflow. If you guys aren't familiar with Qlik Automate, you can right click, download the workspace, and that creates a JSON file. Then when you create a new automation, you can upload a workspace. Okay, so if I go into automations, I create a new automation. You just create a new automation from a blank template. Let's call it 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you right click and you say upload workspace. And then you select the JSON file, which I might have in here just to give you a quick example. It might be my do more. There it is. and there's the workspace. And all of you will have access to that. You'll just have to change your connections and all that other stuff. But this should give you enough to get started with that. Another thing that I will cover in another stream or maybe in another video is when you create a new automation, everything you create can be saved as a template for others to start building off of. So if I go to shared, you guys like that send customer message? Well, look at this. It's a shared template. Let's use this as a template and let's call it live stream. Click create. There it is. So now all I need to do is change my app and choose my build, my straight table, and I will get formatted results directly into my email. You don't have to build anything. Now you can change it if you want, but you basically now have a building block to get started on this directly. Okay, guys. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop the stream, stop the share, sorry. And I'm going to look at some of the questions. Everybody's saying hello and good morning and all that good stuff. Yes, so there was a question. Jonathan, I responded to your community post. He wants to know about the GitHub extension that Riley McDonald created. So this particular extension here, like I said, it's just a form. It's called a form trigger action. I have it actually available here on GitHub. The link is there. And then I might actually do a live stream on this or a video just show you how to set up. It's really, remember, this is not a sanctioned out of the box Qlik Corporation product. Riley does work for Qlik and he's a very bright individual who's created this extension. So, you know, you can use it, but like I said, it's just something that's available, but it's not something directly from Qlik. Let me see questions. So that's your question, Jonathan. Hello, everyone. Awesome. Great seeing you too. Thank you. Thank you. Can I make the app available? Yes, I just did. Okay, perfect. That's the last question that I see on here from the live stream. All right. So like I said earlier, I like to keep these simple and quick. Stay tuned for the next one. I have a few ideas on what I want to do already, and I will announce it on Monday in the Monday promo. So every Monday, I'm going to have a promo on what's going to be presented for that Friday to kind of build up that following and get everybody excited on the topic. But like I mentioned, if this is something you would like, something specific you want to see me cover, and I think it's great that the masses will know about it, I will cover it. Just to let you know, things I'm thinking about right now is ways of filtering your data. Okay, we all know and love set analysis, or maybe you don't know about it, but there are other ways of filtering data that we've just added to the product that make it awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you can add filters directly to charts now, you know, with point and click, very awesome feature that's been added, etc. You're welcome, everyone who's saying thank you. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Happy to, you know, do this. I love, you know, showcasing. I built up so much knowledge over the years at Qlik, going up 14 years on Qlik and then 5 years in BI data integration. I plan on covering maybe even some data integration, Qlik Talent Cloud stuff as well, because I do use that in the back end for certain things. Cool. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to end the live stream now, guys. Thanks for joining. And I hope you join me next Friday. I might start them a little bit earlier because I realize 11 a.m. Eastern, it's kind of like evening hours now, or, you know, in, you know, the different parts of the world. So I might start it maybe at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. If you have some suggestions, let me know. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.